How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another vlog video. And in this one, I wanted to talk about my experience playing through Final Fantasy. Probably my new favorite game in the series. Yes, Final Fantasy is my favorite Final Fantasy game. Before, it was probably, I would have to say 10 was my favorite, but I think 1 takes the cake. I just the simplicity of the gameplay, and yet if just the combat is so tight. It's simplistic but tight, you know. And the soundtrack beautifully remastered in the Final Fantasy Pixel collection, which features the first 6 games of the series. And how can I not love a game where you're blessed by a Dragon King? I mean, come on, man. It's like the game was made for me, you know? So yes, Final Fantasy. Wow, it's kind of weird, right? This remastered collection, because it seems like this game was kind of it's as if like it was remastered for the Super Nintendo. The first game got like a Super Nintendo remaster. That's kind of what this feels like, which makes me curious to see what does 4, 5, and 6 look like. Does it look pretty much the same as when they came out, just slight tweaks and enhancements here and there, and obviously the resolution being upgraded? Or did they go a step further than that? Because these, at least for this game, the first game, which of course, if you were going to do a remaster of it, it would need the most touch-ups, right? But I had actually never played these early games. I mean, I've seen them, but I've never really delved deep into them. So this was really my first time playing through this, and I got some footage here of the final boss fight. My characters were all level 66 by the time I got here. Unfortunately, I know, I wish I could have made them level 666 just for the lulz. But yeah, level 66, and this guy, holy shit. As you can see, I was limited to 30 minutes of recording on the PS5 here, but I think this fight went to, I think, like 45 minutes. I'm not even kidding. He took like 45 minutes to kill this guy. One of the longest boss fights that I've had to deal with. But yeah, I finally beat him. I mean, I did whittle away at his health. I mixed between having to revive my characters. The problem with this final boss is he hits like a fucking tank. You know, his physical attack deals a shit ton of damage. So I used all 64 of my high potions to beat this guy. Yeah, so I don't want to like spoil anything, but definitely he is by far the hardest fight. Of course, this final boss fight does not disappoint in this one. Simplistic but tight gameplay, beautifully remastered soundtrack, nice quality of life improvements, and it feels like it is like a remaster of the game. Feels like if they were to port it to the Super Nintendo, that's definitely how this game feels. And it's awesome. I absolutely loved it. There was a couple of times where I did get frustrated and I wasn't sure like where the game wanted me to go next. And I did have to look it up. But for the most part, it was a blind playthrough for me, and I saw it through to the end. I didn't use a guide for any of these bosses or anything like that. I would recommend, if you were to check this out, do what I did and set the XP and gil to 2x right at the start, just so you don't have to really grind. You can just play through the game naturally, and you'll at least it'll still be challenging fights, but you won't have to sit there and grind, do 15 fights in a row in order to advance through the game, you know what I mean? You can just play through it as it's intended. And I feel like that's a better approach. I love how you can mess around with multipliers in this, so that's awesome. Also, being able to switch off encounters at will was a great improvement, because there were times where I wanted to just explore a dungeon. I didn't want to fight anything. I just wanted to make sure before I left the dungeon I got all the loot. And so that I would turn off the encounters and just wander around, and I wouldn't have to deal with any enemies. So there were a few times I did do that as well. I didn't get all the loot. I got probably like 90% of it. There was probably only a few chests that I missed, because there are trophy support in this game as well for any trophy hunters out there. Trophy support was added to this as well, which is cool. I didn't get 100% on it, but I did like 90-something% of this game is complete. There's 128 different enemies in this game, if you can believe it, which is quite a lot. It's definitely more than I was expecting. I've encountered 124. Now, am I going to travel across the whole entire map to find the last 4 to get the platinum for this game? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm happy with the progress that I made in this game and where I got to in it. I'm good with where I'm at. But yeah, for you trophy hunters as well, this is definitely a good game to play. It gives you quite a few trophies as well. I got, I think, 20 trophies out of it, 10 bronze, 5 silvers, and 5 golds, just through playing it naturally. So anyways, yeah, in other news, I'm also planning on picking up the Croc remaster, because that's coming out on April 2nd. And I'm definitely wanting to pick that up. I think I'm going to get it on PlayStation 5. I'm going to do a playthrough of that on the channel, I think. So stay tuned for that if you want to see what that game's all about. I absolutely love Croc on the PlayStation 1. I haven't played it in many, many, many years. I don't even remember if I beat it or not. I probably did, but I don't remember if I did or not. It's just been so long. So, but yeah, I mean, originally it released on the PlayStation 1 and I think the Sega Saturn as well. So I'm probably going to pick it up on PlayStation because that's just where its home is for me. But, yeah, it's not an April Fool's joke. I was surprised to see that, yeah, I wouldn't have expected that they would release Croc again on modern platforms. But I do think if you're going to do a remaster of games, it should be from like the PlayStation 2 generation or earlier. I think it's really fucking stupid that they keep coming out with these remasters like, oh, The Last of Us 2 is getting remastered on PS5. It's like, well, it was already fine on PS4. You know, like, what can you possibly do? These games already look great as is. Like, I don't understand why they keep trying to make these remasters and remakes of games that just came out a few years ago. I think it's really fucking stupid. I just have no interest in it. These games that were released on PS4 run great through backwards compatibility, just as is. So these remasters are just a waste of money if you already own the original game, in my opinion. They're just trying to, like, double dip. Like, everybody saw that GTA 5 got re-released, like, 10 times, and Skyrim got re-released, like, 10 times. So now everybody's just trying to double dip, triple dip, quadruple dip on these games that they release and just re-releasing them over and over and over again. I think it's really pathetic. I have no interest in these, but if you're going to re-release a game, it should be from a generation that was, you know, a long time ago. Because at that point, it actually makes sense. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. And this Croc game, it's only going to be $30. So, if you're interested, definitely check it out. It's releasing on everything. Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PS5. Intellivision, Amico, Ouya, Commodore 64, your grandmother's toaster oven. It's going to release on everything. So if you're interested, check it out. And I'll be doing a playthrough of it myself if you want to see some footage of it. So stay tuned for the gaming channel. I'll be back on there soon. And of course, I'm going to be jumping back into RoboCop as well in the near future. Definitely enjoying that game. That's a pretty fun game as well. I'm definitely enjoying it thus far. But I took a break from it to play some Final Fantasy, and yeah, this game from 1987 may end up being my game of the year for 2025, because not like there's shit to play on PS5, guys. It's just, this is why I buy a PlayStation 5, so I can play my PlayStation 4 games and games from the Nintendo Entertainment System. There ain't shit else to play on these new game systems, so. Anyways, you guys take care, I'll catch you later.